In spite of all of that, California is actually still in a drought.
Yes, First Alert Meteorologist Darren Peck here with a closer look at why.
All right. But before I become that guy
Yeah.
who says, you know, we're still in a drought,
Wah, wah.
I want to start with the good news. And we're going to start off with what the last few weeks has done. Take a look at the rainfall. For the water year so far, and we start measuring that on October 1st, we are now at 21.75 inches in downtown San Francisco. That is effectively an entire water year's worth. That's what you'd get in an average year. We still have several months to go. Great news, no mistake about it. But we need the perspective. If we look back at the last few years, it can be easy to forget how bad 2020 and 2021 were. Those were the totals. We should get close to 23 inches. We only got 9 inches in 2021. We only got 11 inches in 2020. This is a cumulative problem that can't be fixed with 2 weeks worth of really good rain. If you look at the last 4 years, what would 4 years worth of rain be? 91 inches. Where are we now for those 4 years, including these great 2 weeks? We're at 61 inches. It's good, but how much are we missing from the last 4 years? Even after the last 2 weeks, we're still missing out on 30 inches of rain. That's more than an entire year's worth of rain we still haven't gotten back. And I don't think we want to make up that amount of rain in the next few months. I don't think we could handle it. In fact, there is a historical precedent for that. And here's a pretty stunning image. The red line on here shows you what rainfall's been like so far for this year. The dashed line shows you what average is. We're already pretty much at average. That's the blue line from the historic year of 1861 and 1862. If you've seen those photos where downtown Sacramento was flooded and the Central Valley was a lake, we were pretty much at the same point here, only in that year, it never stopped. It kept going. We don't want to do that, and thankfully we're not going to, because the forecast has things quieting down for about the next 2 weeks. The other side of this is not just the water being stored in reservoirs. What about snow in the Sierra? Beautiful imagery shows you the water content being stored in the mountains. Let's come in for a close-up look here. And as we do this, this is so detailed you can actually see individual little drainages on here. This is Yosemite National Park. That's Yosemite Valley. That's the Tuolumne River. Let's come in for a close-up look. The Tuolumne River is the one that matters most to San Francisco. That's where we get all our water. And if you go in for another close look, Tuolumne Meadows, if you've ever taken that drive on Highway 120, there's a gauge there where we can measure the snow. There's a little number on there. We can click on that. And when we click on that number, let's go to the smaller number. That's going to show us for the snowpack right now, we are at 138% of average for the entire year's worth. That means we've already gotten over what we would need for an entire year's worth of snow to be at average. We're at 138% for the whole year on average. More good news. And if you look at the combination of how much water the state's storing in its reservoirs, combined with how much we're storing in that snowpack, you've got to look at both of them together. That's how we really manage drought. This yellow line right here shows you the combination of two statewide, and it's really good. But even at this point, we're still not at where we would need to be in total for average by the time we get to April 1st. And that line can flatline. In fact, if we look at what happened last year, that line was pretty much right here at average. Last year at this point, we had a great December and going into January last year. And then it flatlined. And it pretty much never snowed again. Doesn't mean that's what I'm saying is going to happen this winter, but it could. We're not necessarily out of the drought yet. That's the downer note on this. But there's a lot of reason to celebrate, and I do not want to overlook that. The last 2 weeks have been fantastic. But some context on why we can't say, even with as good as it's been, that we're out of the drought. So sorry to do it, guys, but I think it helps lend a little bit of background to this.
I was ready to call you Debbie Downer, but
Darren Downer, Ryan.
But it's
mixed bag.
Yeah, there's some good news in there.
It's a lot of good news.
Yeah.
But we're not out of the drought.
All right.